Hello there, hello there, hello there, hello there. Welcome back to the Agostinho Zinga Show with your host, Agostinho Zinga, and this is episode number 900. Episode number 900. That is 900 of the Agostinho Zinga Show, coming at you live and direct from an undisclosed location somewhere within the depths of East London. Welcome back, welcome all. Episode number 900. No soundboard, so we do real sounds. No soundboard, we do real sounds. Wow, 900 episodes of me waffling, ranting, shouting, screaming, sometimes whispering into deep space. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, all of you. Hundreds of thousands of millions of people who tune into this show every single week. I thank you so much. I thank you so much. What a journey I've been on, eh? I started at 1 and now I'm at 900. Soon come episode number 1000. Jesus Christ. I'm so bad with numbers. I forgot what was coming, what the next big milestone after 900 was. God damn it, no wonder I got fired. Anyway, big up everybody for tuning in. Big up all the supporters. Big up everybody that checks me out. Big up everybody that even hates, that downvotes, that leaves a mean comment. People that reached out on Instagram to say what's up. People that have followed me. People that have sent emails. Whatever it may be, I really do thank you. Honestly, much appreciated. Don't get me wrong. I don't need none of y'all. Because God knows, if I didn't have an audience, I'd still be here. I'd still be here talking crap into a microphone with no one speaking. I did it when there was no one here. When I had 1 viewer, 2 viewer, 5. Now I have a couple hundred somewhere here and there. I do not care, because I love to do this, because it's a passion of mine. And to be honest as well, it's a bit of free therapy. I'm not going to lie. It's a bit of free therapy. I'm too manly. I'm too much of a machismo. I've got too much toxic male traits in me that would allow me to succumb to therapy. So the best I can do is unload some of my problems, or speak about my problems, speak about my experiences, speak about my life in a roundabout way on a particular podcast, on a particular stream, so that others can hear it, and via the conduit of a chat or the comments, they can leave me responses or give me feedback on what I'm saying, and then I can read it, internalize it, check the stuff that I don't agree with, skip it, and then continue on doing what I'm doing and repeating the cycle again. Because guess what? I am just a human. I know I'm perfect. I know I look extraordinary, but at my core, I'm still a human, and I'm liable to make the same mistake again and again and again and again, which is why I'm here after 900 episodes, still talking to you mofos. I appreciate you all so freaking much. Now, long-term plans for the actual stream, for the actual podcast itself. I want to level up the podcast in terms of equipment. I know I keep talking about it, but I'm going to get a Mac Mini, and I want to get an Apple MacBook Air, the new one, very soon, to kind of ramp up the kind of level of stuff that I'm doing. I also want to update my camera. For the longest time, I've been using webcams and stuff, and I want to get a dedicated SLR to use to really give my content that pop that it needs. I think the audio is set up perfect at the moment. I've got a really good microphone here. Big up Keith T for the mic and shit that I'm using. That's bloody amazing. I've got a good audio interface, and everything is going okay so far, but slight little upgrades. Mac Mini, new flipping laptop will definitely level this up a little bit. I'm happy with my desk and my monitor. I don't really need anything else. Headphones, I'm okay using these in-ear monitors at the moment. As much as I enjoy the Sony, which is not Sony, the Sennheiser ones, these ones, right, that everybody's got. Oh, I don't know where they are. Where are they? Yeah, these ones that everyone has. Although I did enjoy them, because I've got mad amounts of hair, I do find that sometimes it's annoying to kind of keep them on and off. So I've got these Sony HD 280s. To be honest as well, I stopped wearing these as well, if I'm not mistaken, because I think the right can is broken on these ones. So they're not the best quality, I'm not going to lie. They're really good, because these are the standard ones that everyone uses. They're the ones that Joe Rogan uses and stuff. So they've got really big ear cups, so they're more like a production monitoring headphones. You can wear them all day. but I do feel like they're a little bit more plasticky feeling, and the right ear cup did die. But the sound is amazing. The sound on these is amazing. If you're looking for podcasting, gaming headphones to use, I recommend these Sony HD280s. But I'm wearing these like Chinese brand in-ear monitors. I don't know what the name is of the brand, but you can find them pretty cheaply on Amazon. And these IEMs, in-ear monitors, have been pretty decent. The only thing that's annoying about them is that the sound is really punchy. That's why sometimes I have to remove my earphones, because I feel like I'm screaming because the sound is really high on my monitors of my headphones. But I have to also, maybe I'm gonna leave a comment. I'm gonna check on the Reddits or forums. I need to find out if people that do podcasts or people that stream, do they monitor their own voice on their headphones? Because I only use my headphones to listen to clips, really, to be honest, because I'm using OBS. I don't use my headphones to listen to my own voice. But I'm wondering whether or not I should start monitoring my voice as I'm speaking in my headphones, so I can regulate my volume so I'm not screaming or talking too fast. I don't really know, but I'm probably going to find out and check and see what I maybe I'll check a couple YouTube videos and see what other content creators, other podcasters, other streamers do, because I think I'm missing out something. Maybe I should be monitoring my voice and my volume. I'm not too sure. Either way, those are the upgrades that are going to come. I'm also thinking long-term future of the pod. I'm thinking that I should maybe start streaming the Agostinho Zinga Show specifically on Kick to get my Kick up, because at the moment my Kick is dormant and I want to get the views up on there, get the following up on there, and just kind of use it as an outlet to do fun stuff and shit. And of course you can play music on there without getting demonetized. And because I upload the clips on this channel anyway, I can just do my live stream on Kick like how Kino Casino do. I want to maybe do what Kino Casino do, where Kino Casino will stream entirely on Kick, but then they'll put the clips up on their channel on YouTube. So I might do that. And obviously I still got the audio version so you can listen to it. But if I want to play music and all that stuff, I won't get blocked over there on Kick. So I think I might start streaming this podcast specifically on Kick only. Random Show will still be on YouTube. Don't worry if you're a Random Show viewer or listener. Make sure you subscribe and join, become a member over there. But I think I might try and split those type of things. I know they have got multi-streaming at the moment, but I think in long term, I might go that way. But all in all, happy to reach 900. Massive milestone. It's a lot of podcasting, to be honest. A lot of podcasting. I'm actually want to check and see, what was I talking about? Let me see if I can go on my archive. I want to see what I was talking about. Let's say episode 9. Yeah, let me go on episode 9. I want to see. Let me go on my Libsyn here. Are we here, right place? Yeah, we're in the right place. Let me go on my Libsyn and see, what was I talking about in episode 9? Let's see if I can get episode 9. Is it episode 9? How do I do that? Okay, I think it'll be 009. Let's see. What was I talking about in episode 009 on here? Do I have it here? Episode 00. Oh, let's do episode. Yeah, episode. Yeah, what am I talking about? Oh, wow, there we go. Episode 009. What am I talking about? Vetements, racist or nah? What am I talking about back then? Today's episode, I speak about Demna Vasilia's view on race, what it means for vetements and the fashion industry at large, the curious tale of palace skateboards and the distribution woes, and why I share Louis Bourgeois' view on enforced periods of solitude and curious tale of Jose Mourinho's sporting directors. Wow, I was on some madness, isn't it? I was on some intellectual shit. Look, I even got links to articles I spoke about, all listed there in the comments as well. Fucking hell, I was on some mad thing, innit? I was out here doing the madness. I want to see what I played as my song of the day, actually. I mean, what I play my song of the day? Oh yeah, I remember this as well. This is the period where I used to play intro music at the beginning of my pods, before and after. I think then I got a copyright strike, so I stopped doing it. But again, I think that's why I might do Kick, because on Kick I can kind of treat it like a radio show. I can play music in the beginning, I can play clips in the middle, I can play clips in the end, blah 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 blah. Nice. Look at me. Okay, let me skip ahead. Let me
discover what I'm speaking about, and yeah.
Oh, I can hear my voice too. This is back when I used to use a flipping I used to use a dictaphone. Big up the dictaphone users. There's a dictaphone you can buy in Argos that's really solid that a lot of journalists use. It's a Sony dictaphone. So this goes out to all the people who are out there who are like, oh, they're like sticklers for equipment, right? So if you're a stickler for equipment, I tell you this. Don't waste any time. Just get anything that works. I was using a dictaphone. I'd talk into a dictaphone, and then, yeah, I think it was this one here. I think it was one of these ones, like a random dictaphone. I'd record my voice on the dictaphone speaking, whatever, about my topic, and then I'd take that audio. I take it out of the memory. Oh no, plug into my computer, download the audio, and then put that into a audio whatever software to kind of upload the audio itself onto a podcasting hosting platform. That's what I'd use. I had no microphone, I had no laptop, so I'd use a dictaphone to record my podcast, all audio. Absolutely madness. So big up everybody that is out there that say don't have equipment. If you don't have equipment, you're making excuses. Just make it happen. Look, I want to see what I played. Did I play a song of the day back then?
Yeah, I'll see you guys on the other side. Have a great week. Boom.
Yeah, see that? I was mixing tunes in as well, so big up me. 900 episodes. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for joining me. It's absolutely fucking amazing. I'm glad you're joining me. I'm glad we're here together, experiencing what we're experiencing. Hold my hand as we go through this journey onto episode number 1900. Here we are. 900 here. We blood clot. Anyway, let's continue. Yo, I absolutely love Ashton Hall. Big up blood clot Ashton Hall. I'm sure most of you guys know who Ashton Hall is. He's the guy that went viral for doing the daily habits thing. What's your thing called? The morning routine videos where he'd wake up and put dunk his face in a tub full of ice water, specifically from Saratoga. He's now evolving his content, and I'm liking it because I think he's becoming a little bit self-aware. I hope he's not being serious. I hope he's somewhat self-aware and he's kind of laughing at himself. So he's now making skits as part of his content and not just morning routine stuff. And the skits now are where he's doing these kind of like skits of like his journey. Like, oh, I was down in the dumps, I started from the bottom and now I'm here type of thing. But I love it because he's acting out the past bits. Like, he wasn't making content when he was coming up. He probably wasn't as poor as he's trying to make it seem in these clips anyway. But he clearly wasn't making content back then. So he hasn't got any evidence to show, oh yeah, I was grinding from early, now look where I am. It kind of, a blow up overnight type of thing. It's kind of the opposite of what Drewski does. Drewski's got this that's one of the good things I really admire about Drewski. His tendency to or his willingness to always put out content, always put himself out there. He now has a whole archive, a timeline of clips from him when he was in high school, looking fat, looking dusty, looking whatever, all the way until now, so you can clearly see, okay, cool, this is when he was living at home, struggling, trying to make his dreams happen, and now he's clearly, got a staff on board, working with people, celebrity friends, blah 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 blah. So Ashton Hall is doing the same thing but a different way. He's kind of recreating the past, acting as himself kind of thing, and using them as like motivational clips to kind of get people to, I don't know, join his course or something. But I think this is pretty cool. By the way, I'm hoping this is just a standalone video. I'm hoping he doesn't have like a mentorship program. I'm hoping he's not selling an ebook. I'm hoping he's not telling people, he's not giving people workout routines that don't include steroids. I'm hoping it's just a big buff dude who's really driven and ambitious, just sharing what he does. It's a bit cringe, it's a bit corny, but I hope there's no grift at the end. I haven't really investigated him too much, but I hope there's no grift. Hope there's no crazy link in bio. Hope it's just like him just sharing what he does type of thing. But this is it. The caption is, from $5 haircuts to helping millions, God is good. Let's play Ashton Hall's video.
So I'm assuming that you guys already know the daily minimum.
I always had that dream like my daddy before me.
Honestly, it's so fucking good. He starts off the video where he's like, his car's broken down, then the 2025 version of him pulls up in like a crazy Bentley Rave. I don't know what it is. Then the 2019 version of him is cutting his friend's hair in front of his house for $5 to make some money. And then the 2025 version of him is talking to a group full of business people over Skype or something, or Zoom. The 2019 version of him was always late on the rent and his toes are all dusty and shit in some motel. The 2025 version of him is living in some penthouse suite somewhere overlooking Miami. Fucking brilliant. I honestly love it. And again, like I said, I hope it's just like wholesome, non-offensive content about inspiring people, motivating people, grinding, whatever it may be. And I hope it's not some, oh, join my mentorship group, join this power workout stuff. Like, you can look like me in 7 weeks. Like, hope it's not like that, because that would be absolute bullshit. Hopefully it's just him sharing what he's sharing. But I love in this new direction he's taking. I love this new direction he's taking. Continuing on. Big up the Berlin Social Club Reddit. Obviously, as I mentioned previously, I'm going to Berlin this weekend for my B-Day. I don't usually celebrate my birthday, but I thought, you know what? Why not do something a bit different than what I usually do? And let's go ahead and celebrate it in the city that I love to go and party in. So I decided, let's go to freaking Berlin. So I'm going, and I randomly stumbled across the Berlin Social Club subreddit, where people can sometimes post up requests about, hey, you want to hang out, or things that are going on in the city and the time that I'm going to be there. And I saw this post, and it made me laugh, because it's so quintessentially Berlin, and it's so disgusting, but it's also so charming in the same way. But this is another reason why I couldn't live there. Somebody posted in a Berlin Social Club subreddit, the title in all caps, "Please take a shower." The caption itself, honestly, it's a test day for the coming months that will be hotter, and I already smell y'all on the trains and the trams. Gosh. Somebody that lives in Berlin is giving a PSA to everybody out there. Please take a shower. Do you know how bad it is if somebody has to jump on Reddit and tell you mofos to take a shower? Like, they must be stinking it up every freaking day. It's probably a lot more, it's probably something you don't notice in the winter, but during the summer months, it probably gets way worse, especially with people being outdoors all the time, sweating a bunch, not going home, and just generally avoiding douching themselves. You know, both douching themselves in the body and in the asshole. It's probably crazy. I bet you there's like an increase. I bet you, for the guys who love to engage in butt play, I bet you there's an increase in butt play related diseases or ickiness that happens in the summer months, because people are outside drinking beers, getting crazy, jumping up and down, and not showering. Not flipping showering. I absolutely love the fact that this is a thing. And if you read the comments, people are actually, you know, continuing it. This person says, you're not my supervisor. Another one says, also wash your clothes and please avoid polyester as much as you can. Which is funny, because a lot of Berlin people, you'd imagine, are quite cheap and don't like to spend money on clothes. So if they are buying clothes, they're probably buying a lot of shit on Temu. No, actually, I'll take that back. When I went to Berlin last time, most recently, I saw maybe the most amount of fake Hellstar. Sorry, I saw the most amount. Sorry, I nearly lost my voice there. I saw the most amount of fake Hellstar pants that I've ever seen in my life, or fake Balenciaga pants. And you know what I'm talking about? Those like really wide leg, elephant foot, whatever, baggy pants with a straight hem. I saw those fake Hellstar pants that look like Adidas pants. They like I think they've got like 4 or 5 stripes on the side, but I think the Hellstar ones, the stripe kind of like bends in to the front of the pant, so it kind of makes like a H sort of shape. So I saw those pants everywhere. So I'm assuming a bunch of people, especially ravers, because there's a bunch of fake or cheap rave gear that you can get on Temu, AliExpress and shit. So imagine all those guys and girls who are jumping up and down, doing the fucking techno stomp, right? Left to right, in their New Rock boots, Dr. Martin Jaden double sole boots and shit, also wearing polyester and not bathing, not showering, not fucking washing their pussy, not fucking scrubbing their nutsack. Oh, can you imagine the smell? Could you imagine the smell? Could you imagine, especially if you're a guy that wants to fondle, that wants to engage in some fucking fellatio, imagine going down on the dude, pulling down his pants, and then you get hit with that whiff. You get hit, because guys know, that smell in a men's changing room, I know some guys get off of it, but that smell is like nauseating. It's so fucking revolting. So could you imagine how bad it is? How much worse it is, sorry, if the person's taking drugs, if they're really hot, and if they've been drinking a bunch, and they haven't showered. Ugh! And they've been in the sun all day. Could you imagine how disgusting they must smell? So yeah, I don't envy that in the slightest. So big up everybody in Berlin wearing polyester and not showering. You are a terrorist. Another person says, look, I just finished a 10-hour shift in the kitchen. If I'm a little bit stinky, too bad. That's actually one of the best things about that place, I'm not going to lie. I remember that was the first thing I noticed when I went there the first few years. It's the fact that people are allowed to kind of be themselves. You know, you don't feel a social pressure to kind of, to get dressed up, to have a new outfit, to wear the cool brands or the cool clothes. But there's also a limit. You also have to just do basic fucking hygiene shit. Showering twice a day is minimum, especially in the summers over there. I don't really like going in the summers over there because I think it's too hot. And I'm a guy that kind of prefers going to Berlin when it's kind of dark and cold and shit. I know I'm a weirdo, but it is what it is. But if you're going to be out there in the sun, in the gardens, you're going to be in Mauer Park, you're going to be by a lake, you're going to be reading a book, getting a tan and shit, the least you can do is scrub your fucking pussy. The least you can do is scrub underneath your armpits. The least you can do is scrub behind your knees, scrub behind the back of your ears, scrub your neck, scrub your face. Especially nowadays with like stuff like this, right? I'm sure some of you guys are the same, but I swear by these little Korean fucking face things, right? I'm sure some of you guys use them. I think they're called like, no, it says here exfoliating face cloth, washcloth. But I swear by these. This particular one, I've got a black one too. But this particular one is like it's like a pocket shape, so you can put your hand in it and then just scrub all over your body. And I've got a fresh new pack that I'm gonna take with me while I'm actually out there in Berlin to kind of use, so I can kind of scrub my body with. But I swear by these. You need something, a loofah, a washcloth. You need something to scrub your balls in, especially a guy like me. A guy like me that I sweat a lot as it is, right? Even without pingers, like minus pingers, minus any kind of adult vitamins, I'm already sweating. I'm a very sweaty guy. I've just been blessed that way. Even if I'm walking down the street, I just sweat. It doesn't matter if I'm fat, if I'm skinny, I'm just always sweating. It's just one of those things that happens to me. I'm a sweaty, oily kind of dude, right? So I have to take extra precautions because I sweat on top of sweating. So imagine what that smells like. And imagine if I'm on the gear. Imagine if I'm on the fucking multivitamins. If I'm fucking pinging from left to right, I'm going to be sweating up a storm. And I like to dance too. Y'all G's have seen my DJ live streams. Some of you have seen my clips on Instagram stories I've been uploading, or my DJ live streams I put on here. Big up Testmates, big up Persistence Radio and shit, right? You know I like to dance. You know I like to kind of move my hips and shit. So just imagine the combustion that's going on underneath this fucking t-shirt as I'm fucking dancing and stuff. It's fucking crazy. So I swear by a washcloth. If you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're a day demo in between, get yourself a fucking washcloth. Don't be stingy. If you can spend money on a bit of keta, you can spend money on a fucking washcloth. Don't be dumb. Another person here says, insert Michael Scott meme here. You know what? I'm not gonna take a shower even harder. But jokes aside, it's a kind of gross, but I suppose it's the end of the day, it's an end of day issue when people just don't get the chance to shower yet. At least mostly another part of it, it might be wearing jackets. No. That's not true. I've smelled people in Berlin. In the morning, when I'm about to go get my fucking, I'm about to go get my fucking pastry, my baguette, my bread, my eggs from the fucking river or something, right? River, whatever it's fucking called. I've smelled people stinking in the morning. Haven't even washed their face. Haven't even got the fucking dirt out from the corner of their eyes, and they're already stinking. It's like going to the gym and you smell before you worked out. That's not good. Either you have to change your clothes or you have to wash your clothes. But you shouldn't be going to the gym and you're already stinking. You should stink at the end of your workout. You should maybe have a little, and you shouldn't even smell at the end of the day. That's even not acceptable. And I don't know, because I wonder if a lot of the Berlin stinky thing has to do with a lot of people there being quite progressive and environmentally friendly. So I wonder if a lot of Berliners don't believe in like deodorant because it's got like heavy metals or aluminiums or carcinogens or something bad that pollutes the earth. So it wouldn't surprise me if I'm just thinking aloud here, if maybe some Berliners don't tend to use stuff like deodorant, or they don't believe in it, and they use stuff like, you know, those crystals, which I've tried before. You know those rock crystals that you meant to like douse underwater? You meant to like pour water in it and rub it. I tried that, didn't work. There's also brands that do anti-deodorant or anti-perspirant rollers that are environmentally friendly, but for me that doesn't work. I need the toxic shit. I need the Niveas, I need the fucking Lynx, whatever they are, Shores. I need that aerosol. I need that straight aerosol. That's the only thing that's stopping any type of sweat or stinky escaping my armpits. I can't do a crystal. I can't do a cloth. I can't rub a carrot underneath my armpit. Mangoes. It doesn't work. I need that straight aerosol. That straight environmentally, ozone breaking layer type shit. You get me? So I wonder if those guys don't use that. That's why they all stink. No, and again, I'm generalizing because it's fun to do so, but who knows? Even worse, another person says here, are the bikers that come to the office completely sweaty and smelling disgusting after biking 10. Yeah, to be fair, this is one of the reasons why I didn't enjoy cycling to work. I enjoyed cycling to work because you get mileage in. You get to cheat mile. You get to kind of, get your mileage up for the week because you're cycling every day, Monday to Friday. But the worst thing I didn't like was having to bring a change of clothes. And I would always bring one. So I would shower in the morning. That's what I would do. That was my trick. I would shower in the morning and I wouldn't ride as fast. But then not riding as fast to work in the morning means waking up earlier so you can just cruise to work, But it's hard not to cycle fast because once you get on the road, I'm sure some of you guys know that cycle, especially if you're a fixie person, it's almost impossible not to want to go fast because everyone around you is riding fast, especially the guys on fucking mountain bikes and crazy e-bikes. They're fucking changing gears and speeding past you. Male ego takes over, pride takes over, and you're like, fuck that. And you start fucking, swinging from side to side and getting your fucking, RPMs up and shit. So it's hard not to do that. So you have to always bring a change of clothes or shower in the morning. But one thing I never did was bring my sweaty, bare self up from the streets all the way to the office. I would at least change a t-shirt or an undershirt or something, you know what I mean? But usually I would always take like a different jacket and a different t-shirt. I'd sweat through that and then I'd hang that up on my bike, have a different shirt, wash my body, or the top half of my body anyway, because I already showered in the morning, deodorant, new t-shirt, and then obviously go back to work. That was where I kind of, fix all those type of things. Another person says, currently on the ring barn, and it's so bad already. Okay, cool. So I think I might have to avoid going on the public transport because, when that bad smell hits my nostrils, I can sometimes barf. But yeah, this is pretty crazy. People are already confessing that it's already bad. I discovered today that my coworker takes 2 showers a week. Maybe he's inside your train. Oh my God. Honestly, people that do this, man. I understand there's research that says showering every day is just like, it's more of a placebo thing. You're just doing it for your own self-interest, but it doesn't really do anything. I get it. But I'm going to take that chance. I know the research says, showering every day isn't good for you. It doesn't actually change anything. But fuck that. Imagine showering twice a week as a big black man as I am. Or as any man in general. Twice a week. You know how nasty us men are. Women is something different because I think women, by and large, are quite clean. But then I have heard also stories of people. I think I've heard it. Who I've heard it from? Maybe on podcasts and stuff about sports. I heard from people that say allegedly women's locker rooms smell way worse than guys. But I'm assuming that might have to do with the menstrual cycles as well, and that included. But allegedly people say, that's what I heard. I think I heard it from one of those prison crime YouTube channels where they said allegedly a security guard said that women's prisons smell far worse than men's prisons. Like they absolutely stink, especially the toilets and shit. But I don't know. As a man, I think you owe it to yourself and people around you to take a shower every day. I personally take them twice, but you should take them at least once every day. And especially in the morning. Especially in a blood clot morning. Another person says, one thing I noticed is that deodorants here in Germany are so much weaker than the home country in Brazil. Really? There I could basically use any brand or any type. Here in the summer, I have to buy antiperspirant or I will smell like shit at the end of the day. Really? Is that true? Yo, speak to Dio from DM. It works all the time, the green roll-on one. Really? Okay, I didn't know that. What? I wonder if that's true. I wonder if that's in part what I said earlier about Berliners or people in Germany, I guess, or maybe Europeans in general, being a lot more environmentally conscious. So I wonder if there's a thing in place that limits certain stores from selling certain types of deodorants. Wow, that's fucking crazy. So maybe it's not people's faults. Maybe it's the fault of the German government, the European Union, for restricting or limiting the sale of the super toxic aerosols that I like in favor of saving the environment, but then you have a whole population full of stinky people. I fucking wonder. Another one says, I don't know why most people in Berlin don't care about basic hygiene. Wear dirty clothes, don't wash their hands, and don't use deodorants. I didn't know people didn't wash their hands, by the way. I didn't know people didn't wash their hands. I did not know people didn't wash their hands. That's fucking crazy. Yo, morning, Shades Cow. Big up, Shades Cow. Big up, The smell of a woman's menstrual cycle will make you gay. It's fucking hilarious. Another person says, is it Berlin thing or what the fuck is going on? I literally feel disgust most of the time when I need to use public transport here. Today I had to change seats because one man had terrible smell of sweat mixed with beer and cigarettes. I can't believe so many people don't care about themselves and others that much. That's the thing that's really funny. Like, it's less about you, it's more about people around you. Like, do the people around you a service. Like, if it's me and I stink, like, there've been times where I used to skate, where I'd go on a crazy skate marathon. I'll be out all day skating in the skate park and shit, or skating the streets, whatever it may be. Skating the streets sounds fucking crazy, isn't it? That sounds like someone that doesn't skate when they say skate in the streets, but you know what I mean. And I'd be tired, I wouldn't want to skate back home, so I'd jump on the bus. But I swear the rule, I'm not sure about you guys, but I swear I'm not wrong in thinking there's the unspoken rule about a boy or being sweaty is that if you come back from five-a-side, if you come back from skating, if you came back from an orgy, whatever you're doing, you usually just stand on the public transport. You don't sit down. The rules of conduct for everybody around you is that you just stand up. You don't sit down when you're sweating. To give everybody, like, you're kind of like giving everybody around you grace because you know, hey, I've been working out. You guys can see I've got my big bag. I'm sweating. You can see all the back sweat on my t-shirt and shit. So I'm going to do you a favor and I'm not going to sit around you. I'm going to keep myself stood at the end of the carriage or near the door. But that's what you do if you've been sweating. You don't sit down comfortably on a chair and put your back up against the chair and shit. You don't, like, who does that? People are so disgusting, innit? Another person says, I go to Holmes Place, considered an upper level gym, and I constantly see gentlemen which are not washing their hands after the toilet. People are gross. To be fair, washing your hands in the gym after the toilet is a bit dumb. But washing your hands in general, overall, people don't do that enough. Especially if you notice it when you go to bathrooms in like restaurants. You notice the lack of use of the soap. You can tell that no one's used this in a while. You're like, fucking hell. And I really like to fucking scrub my hands and make sure I get all the shit off. Plus, I've learned, I think, ever since COVID, I love the technique of like washing your hands properly. Remember when COVID was happening and they were telling us how to wash our hands correctly? How to make sure we get rid of all the bacteria and shit. Like you do the whole like pinch in the middle, you scrub in between your fingers and shit. There was a certain procedure that you're doing. And I swear by that now. That's why I tend to do all the time whenever I'm leaving the bathroom. But I guess some people just don't like to do that sort of shit. Another one says, I'm sorry everybody, I overslept, had to run to work. I worked 9.5 hours and then ride another 90 minutes home. First thing I did when I went back was take a shower. Exactly. That's crazy. I could also see that being a thing, by the way. I don't know why, but I have a feeling if we had to like make a report about the places in the world that have the most amount of people that turn up late to work, I think Berlin might be the one. Considering all the afters, I think that might be the first place in the world where people really take the piss with running late. Always late because they went to an afters, because they stayed up late watching something on YouTube, because they're just gallivanting around, sitting at their fucking balcony, people watching, just generally not being just not being on it. I think so. I could be wrong, but I think so. Anyway, moving on, because I know some of you guys are getting grossed out. I apologize if you're listening to this and you're eating or drinking something tasty and nice. We're not going to be talking about BO anymore. I apologize. Let's move on to the main topic of the show. Main topic of the show is this: Boiler Room. And I've just released a really sick Alpha Industries collab bomber jacket. It comes out in olive green and black, so the standard bomber jacket style. Alpha Industries, as you know, is the quintessential like top tier makers of bomber jackets, especially MA1s. Similar to like Scott, which they do leather jackets, but Alpha Industries are known as the piston resistance. Usually the cut is really short. It's really kind of billowing at the bottom, has these really nice crunched up like style sleeves, and just have a really nice sheen to it. Very big, heavy duty zip, and just a really nice quality. Now, I'm going to be honest and say this. I wonder in general, this is my overall thinking aloud. What is the deal with people not wearing club merch? And I've spoken about this before with friends. Big up my girl Joyce. And I've spoken a lot about this before, about the need for more club, dance floor, nightclub inspired merch and why more people don't wear it. Because on the dance floor, you are more prone to see somebody like myself wearing a Slipknot t-shirt, wearing a fucking Iron Maiden t-shirt, Metallica t-shirt, whatever band t-shirt on the dance floor. Some people wearing those t-shirts have never listened to said band, not myself included, because I'm different, I'm special. But you're more likely to see somebody wearing a band t-shirt than somebody wearing a t-shirt promoting the night they're at, promoting a DJ, promoting an artist, promoting a streaming platform, or just a club in general, or festival. Why is that? When most big prominent festivals, clubs, streaming platforms, DJs, artists have merch, but people don't like to wear it. And I remember speaking to my friend Joyce about it, who's kind of, big up Joyce. She's worked in the industry and has been, in behind the scenes working with artists and whatever, helping them with social media and shit. And she made a good point and basically said that she's done the merch before, but I think she's something along the lines of like the logistics of it and just the upkeep of it is not worth it. And I think essentially what she basically made the point to say was that it's just another job that no one wants to do. Because if I'm working in an agency and you're the booking person or you're the social media manager, that just adds another responsibility to your list of responsibilities that you have to kind of look after. You have to make sure there's DJs alive. You have to keep them alive, You have to make sure they get to the gigs on time. You're also a psychiatrist. You're also helping them out with their finances. You might be helping them out with their accommodation, all this sort of shit you're helping out. You don't want to also be in charge of logistics of like transporting or shipping certain bits of merch to different locations. Then I thought to myself, why don't DJs bring more merch to sell at gigs? Because me personally, knowing what DJs are like, because I'm a DJ myself, on a very lower level, but I've done it myself and aspire to kind of do on the higher level sometime very soon. But I know myself, when you play a lot, you can sometimes, things get left by the wayside. You're not going to have your eye on the ball all the time. So I tend to not like to buy DJ merch online because I'm not too sure when they're ever going to send it. I get it. You're working on a new project. You've got a ton of gigs happening. You're flying from different cities. You're flying to different cities 4 times a day or something. You're always on the go. You might be having an afters in a hotel room with some fucking 19-year-old Belgium girls and shit, or Belgium girls and shit, and Austrian girls and shit, having a good time, enjoy yourself. But you're not going to get around to shipping my stuff, right? You're not going to care about my little t-shirt. But I would definitely buy it if I was at your party and you were selling some. So that'd be pretty cool because I've seen Multisex. Big up Multisex. I'm a big believer and a fan of Multisex. That party they do out there in Berlin. That's mostly house focused with a tendency to kind of gear it towards the fashion crew. And I saw that they were promoting or they were selling Multisex branded towels, like face towels, and they only were selling them at their recent Easter rave, which you didn't be able to buy online, which I think is a pretty sick idea because if I'm there and I'm having a good time and I want to represent Multisex and I love what you guys do, love the vibe, I'm prone to buying one there. Similar with Berghain merch. I know Berghain have a store where they sell their own fucking shit, right? But I'm not gonna buy it unless I'm at the club because I'm not sure when they're ever gonna send the shit. Which is really dumb because I know they probably have person that's working on the store primarily as their main thing and sorting out the e-commerce stuff. But I don't know, man. I'm definitely gonna buy it more likely if I'm there when I'm actually there, as opposed to buying it online. Right? There's some good shit here, like this mask, right? I'd probably wear. They've got some cool jacket. Even that jacket I'd probably wear as well there. The hoodie is quite sick. I quite like the sweatshirt. There's some good shit here. I'm not gonna lie. Let's actually click merch. Let's see what they got here. Yeah, I quite like the stuff. The stuff is quite decent, right? But I don't think I'm going to trust sitting on the website and waiting for somebody who works there, who's having a good time, who's on it, to send my stuff. What have they got? Oh yeah, they got a lot of good sizes left still. Okay, cool. 65 euros. I might actually buy it when I go out there, actually. But that hoodie is quite nice. But I was just looking at the Boiler Room merch, and I was thinking to myself, besides people not buying it because they're afraid it won't get shipped, I wonder if people don't buy this stuff because they think it's corny. I don't personally think it's corny. I think it's quite sick. It's got this really cool Boiler Room embroidery on the back there, with this globe logo that kind of reminds me of like early 2000s, late 90s kind of art and graphic design. It says worldwide, established 2010. It's fucking cool. It's really fucking cool. Also, the Alpha Industries bomber jacket that they use is different. It has like, instead of having an elasticated collar, it has like a fold over collar. So it's a bit different than regular Alpha Industry. I'm not sure what that model is. I think it might be like a flight jacket. So it's a bit different. So it's not exactly an MA1. Oh yeah, it's a different. So yeah, there it is. It's a different jacket. So the caption says, introducing Boiler Room bomber jacket finished embroidered branding, custom Velcro patch and flag label. We've reworked the iconic Alpha Industries CWU-45 Heritage Bomber into an Ultimate BR tour jacket. Personally, I think it's hard. Like, I'm not really a fan of Boiler Room merch, you know, that the t-shirts and the hoodies. I wouldn't wear it. It's a bit too cringe, but I'd wear the fuck out of this. Like, I'm more, like, I saw people, before, this is a thing, I'm not sure if it's a trend anymore, but I remember in the past, it was a trend for people to wear, like, XL Records bomber jackets, which I think is really corny, because if I see somebody in an XL Records bomber jacket, I'm going to think you are signed to XL Records. But they're not. They just like the record label. It's legendary. They like the artist on there, and they want to rep the record label because they know what it kind of signifies. But to me, it signifies somebody that is on the label. It's similar to like a Rockefeller chain. If you have a Rockefeller chain, I assume you're on fucking Rockefeller, or at least Rock Nation. But it's not the case. But this in particular, I'm gonna wear. I wouldn't wear the hoodie or the bomber jacket or the t-shirts, but I'm definitely prone to wear. I definitely would love to wear this bomber jacket. It's fucking hard. I really like it. It's actually even nicer in the olive green. Definitely would wear the black, but the olive green is actually really nice, and it's actually available now online. As you can see here, you got it available in black. It's also available in blue as well, like a navy blue, and the green as well. But that black is the one. But the price is pretty steep for what it is. Maybe not. I'm not sure how much a blank Alpha Industries jacket goes for, but on the website it's listed for £240 for it. Double XL's already sold out, which is a good sign. Maybe they didn't make that many, but still it shows it's really nice. But the other sizes are available now. It says Boiler Room jacket adapts the classic CW Heritage Bomber jacket from Alpha Industries, a high function piece. The jacket features a core fit that adapts perfectly to your body contours and ensuring high comfort. The outer material is made of 100% nylon, making it robust and durable. It withstands harshest weathers, conditions, and reliably protects you from the cold. At the same time, it's breathable, ensuring you don't sweat. The shell with fabric is nylon, with nylon filling. Boiler and Velcro patch. Do not wash. This item must be washed under normal household conditions. But yeah, I really like it, man. I really like the patch as well. The Boiler Room patch is fucking sick. You can probably stick your own flag patch on there as well if you wanted to. Which is quite cool when you get these labels. If it was me, I was being really fucking picky, I might actually get another patch added to it. I'm not gonna lie, just to kind of give it another bit of a twist. I might get another kind of patch added here at the top, so I can patch a Great Britain flag on there, or an Angolan flag, or something else, because that'd be pretty sick to have like that and then Boiler Room written on the bottom. I think that would look pretty hard. But I really like that jacket, and I wonder why more people don't wear this sort of stuff on the dance floor or out and about, because it's stuff that you actually do kind of use and engage with. Why wouldn't you want to check it out and wear it? You get me? But the only people I can think of that do wear this sort of stuff, actually that t-shirt is pretty cool too. That Boiler Room TV URL jacket. It's also got a matching hat as well. The worldwide hat is actually kind of hard. International Treasure, I don't really mind that too bad. There's a tracksuit too that doesn't look too shabby. Yeah, there's some pretty decent stuff Boiler Room have made. But the one that I was thinking of that do really good when it comes to like dance music merch is Teletech. Teletech, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Teletech is a promotional collective. I think they're based, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're based in Manchester. I don't know if that's true. I think they're based in Manchester. They mostly do like hard dance. I'm not too sure if they even started. Maybe they started out doing tech house. I'm not too sure, but I'm sure if you're a fan of tech, if you're a fan of nightlife and going out, you've definitely seen this logo. And I think the logo is fucking genius. The Teletech logo is so fucking well done. But the logo is synonymous. I've seen it everywhere. I've seen people walking around like that Teletech t-shirt is even more coveted than the 4-4 label group t-shirt. And that merch, I think it's really overtaken it. People really love repping Teletech. They really love wearing it. They love wearing the brand when they go out and that. And they actually make some good shit too. Look at this. Look at this latest stuff. This latest stuff is pretty hard. April product focus, Monster Joggers and Tech Joggers. This is pretty sick, man. Like, wow. I'm not mad at this. 1 hour ago, they just dropped this. We've been working hard on our next set of pants, and we're excited to release them. Both have updated shapes and they've been refined for the last few months. This is a brilliant idea, especially when you think about how trendy cargo pants have become in the last few years, and how many people probably that are a part of Teletech, that go to Teletech raves, wear baggy cargo-y pants. And for people that also like to get on it, cargo pants are a good way to kind of stash stuff, you know what I mean? So it'll be cool if they have cargo pants with like little secret pockets here and there where you can kind of sneak shit it. The caption says, our Monster Joggers features straight wide leg to keep those legs comfy, whether traveling, which I love. No elastic on the bottom, no buttons or nothing, just straight leg, whatever. Chilling at home was a perfect warm layer to keep you in your locker for the cold walk home. Oh yeah, that's true. That's a good point too. You can take these pants with you and then wear them on the way back. Yeah, true. There's a thick pull tie waistband, frayed details on the stitching. Moving on to the tech cargos, we've started again with from scratch straight, listening to the feedback of our previous designs. For the legs and the waist, there's a pull tab adjustment for the perfect fit and the option for the cuff or uncuffed at the ankles depending on the activity. Material wise, we've chosen tough ripstop cotton, which comes with pockets that are heavily serviced. Front, back and legs, the lot. Both go live on our store tomorrow. They look really good, man. I like those cargos. So they got cargos and what's that one called? Monster Joggers and Cargos. So the Monster Joggers have those really, I don't know what that brand or what that style of graphic design is, but I see a lot of kids in techno having this design where it's that kind of weird, like, I don't know how you call that graphic. I don't know what that graphic is called, but it's that symbol that everyone kind of gets tattooed on their body. So those are those symbols on either side. It's kind of, to be honest, the sweatpants kind of look a bit Hellstarish. They look a little bit Hellstarish, but I still like the cut of them. Nice wide sweatpants. They still have a no cuff at the bottom. Wide leg hem there as well. The cargo pants are really nicely done too. Looks like they've got a little embroidered Teletech logo right at the bottom of the cargo pocket, which is pretty sick as well. Pull tab harness on the waist as well. Really nicely done. I'm not mad at them at all. I'm not mad at the cargo pants. I'm not mad at the look how good they look on that girl. Yeah, the cargo pants, like there's nothing better than seeing a girl wearing a pair of big cargo pants and a small teeny bitty top. The contrast is really fucking nice. Yeah, these look really fucking cool. I really like them. But yeah, Teletech do some good shit when it comes to merch. That's why I'm surprised that's why I'm surprised why more promoters don't do merch like this. I think this stuff is good. Like, look at this jersey. This football jersey is really fucking hard. The music is not for me, but the jersey is fucking cool. Yesterday, we released our full April collection ahead of our April yearly pilgrimage to Malta for 4 days in the Mediterranean. Which pieces will you be bringing with you? That's pretty sick. Okay, so this is all the pre-Malta drop. Teletech April drop. This is what's available. I want to see the prices. How much do they charge for this sort of shit? I wonder how much they charge for their stuff. I'm assuming it's like probably £50 for like a t-shirt, maybe. I wonder how much the cargos are going for. Maybe the cargos are like 100. Maybe the cargos are 100. Let's see. Festival. Okay, clothing. There you go. April drop. Let's click there. I want to see how much the clothing goes for. But I'm assuming most likely the clothing is probably like, oh what? Oh, it's not okay. It's not available yet. When's it available? The clothing drops on 9 a.m. Well, it's not, so I can't purchase it right now. Get notified. Okay, cool. I don't want to get notified. Let's just continue back with the post itself. So they have a new t-shirts available with the logo, which I think is really cool. I love what they do with that logo. They've also got a jersey, a football jersey, which I also not mad at. That football jersey is really cool. It kind of reminds me like of an old school Eredivisie team. You know what I mean? It's kind of giving me Dutch football team there. I love the logo. The massive cargo pants also look cool. I'm not a fan of the hat because I can't wear these type of hats. They're too small for my head. And I've got this massive hair on me, so I can't wear these hats, but it's cool. It's got 3M all over it. There's also a pair of sweatshirt, sweatshirt shorts. There's a polo top that's got a zip. That's kind of wild. I'm not too mad. I'm not too crazy about that. Because I'd assume if you've got chest hairs and you've got a zip, unless it's sealed at the back, it's going to get caught in your chest hairs when you're zipping and opening. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's part of the kink. I'm not too sure, but I'm not really feeling the zip up, the quarter zip polo top, but not mad at it. There's also a pair of running shorts that look like there. There's a cargo he's wearing. A nice t-shirt there. Yeah, decent stuff. I'm not mad at that with the logo and the fucking collar. Decent stuff there. Decent stuff. I'd love to know how much they charge though for that particular stuff. I'd love to know how much they charge. But big up Teletech. This guy's also wearing a bag from Teletech, it looks like. I wonder what that bag looks like. They make side bags as well. Big up the Teletech people. But yeah, man, I'm curious to see how they go on. I'd love to see more people wearing more dance music merch, because, you know, that's the stuff that you actually consume and take part in. But the Boiler Room stuff that I'm seeing here, courtesy of Boiler Room, looks fucking hard. Big up the bomber jacket. Big up the Boiler Room blood clot Boiler Room jacket. Moving on. Let's also talk about Ye. So most of you guys already know this, but Ye decided to drop a song called Cousins. And in the song called Cousins, Ye admits to something that none of us were expecting or knew. And I'm going to play you what he admitted.
That's when I gave my cousin head, gave my cousin head, gave my cousin head, I gave my cousin head.
Kind of wild, right? So Ye admits in that particular song that goes on a bit longer that when he was, I think 14 or something, no, when he was 6, I don't know, 8, I don't know what age it was, but he was very young, and him and his cousin engaged in some fornication, some fellatio, some fooling around as they were trying to discover themselves sexually and shit. Some people are saying this is the reason why maybe Ye is hypersexual and all this malarkey. Me personally, what do I think of this whole shebang? My initial reaction when this dropped is that I don't care. And I kind of got angry at the fact that he said this and it was forced down my throat. Pause, not paused. Or I saw it on the timeline. Because I felt like I was being told this by force. Like I felt like I had no choice but to know this because my entire timeline was talking about it. And I really take umbrage with the fact that for whatever reason, I love Ye, honestly do. He's my fucking goat. But he refuses to get any help. He refuses to go and get any help. He refuses to use his resources, his wealth, his connections, his whatever, to go and address the problems that he clearly has. We already know from past issues that he may have bipolar issues, he may be autistic, he may be this, he may be that, depression this, who knows, right? But he has really gone out of his way to avoid seeking professional help to deal with these issues. And instead, he kind of tries to get help or tries to work through his problems via posts and rambles and whatever else on social media. Most of it kind of looks like attention seeking, but given what he confessed on his song, I'd understand if you want to look at it through the lens of like, oh, it's a cry for help. Me personally, whether it's a cry for help, whether it's an attention seeking thing, I don't care. All I want to focus on when it comes to Ye is the clothes, the music, and the sneakers and the activations and stuff. I don't care about his personal life. I refuse to get involved and take part and engage with or seriously deliberate anything happening between him and Kim Kardashian. I also think that's none of my business. I refuse to get involved when it comes with anything to do with his kids. That's none of my business. And anything else to do with him interpersonal relationships. I don't give a fuck. Is it disappointing and heartbreaking to read Ye disparaging someone like a Virgil and saying fuck him after his passing? Yes, it is. And it breaks my heart because I was a big fan of Virgil. I looked up to Virgil. I got a chance to work with Virgil for a very short time. And to see somebody that I adore like Ye, you know, besmirching and disrespecting and putting sully on someone's name like Virgil since he's passing is really heartbreaking. But I also understand he had a personal relationship with Virgil that I would never know or never be privy to, and none of us will. So if he wants to say fuck Virgil, let him say it. But I refuse to take part and engage in it seriously because he's clearly going through his issues. It's just that we're being forced to kind of engage with this stuff seriously and also forget all of the antics that happened prior to this, you know? It's just a constant barrage of things that you're having to kind of rummage and kind of make sense of in your head. So I understand why he said it, but it's just like after everything you said in the past, it's like, are you doing this now to get people on your side? Because for the longest time, he's been going out of his way to push people away from him, saying the most crazy, outlandish things, trying to be as hurtful and as mean and as evil as possible to push everyone away from him, right? And now suddenly he wants to open up and be vulnerable because he knows as well, he's not a dumb guy. He knows if he says this type of stuff, people are going to have sympathy for him. They're going to have empathy. They're going to have more understanding. They're not going to be as harsh. They won't want to cancel him as much. And it's just like, are you doing this to really share and to kind of pour your soul out because it's something that's been eating away at you? Or are you doing this to kind of curry favor with people who have maybe said fuck you forever and you're feeling it and you don't want to be alone? Because something about Ye as well, like for all the fucking bravado in the chat, he as much as he tries to act like he doesn't care about anybody and he's his own man, I do what I want, I say what I want, you can tell he's lonely. You can tell he wants people around. You can tell he wants friends. You can tell he wants to be on the good side of people. And I think some of the stuff he's been doing lately, yes, it's okay to piss off people that are never believers, that are never fans. But I think he was starting to realize that his actual hardcore day ones, the stands that used to like try to always, you know, over explain or psychoanalyze or, you know, whatever else it may be, or make sense of all the stuff that he said, rants and shit, were now being turned away. So I wonder if that's kind of a reason why he's now decided to kind of like open up and be like, hey, I'm going to be vulnerable and share this really kind of horrifying thing that happened to me. And yeah, fair enough. Share it. It's all well and good. Happy you fucking shared it. It's really no surprise a lot of us have been paying attention, because somebody like EA, who's as sexually promiscuous, who's that fucking active, who's that ready, that on charge, most likely has other kinks outside of just regular sex. You know, this guy gets down, he gets into it. And from time he was sharing certain things on the timeline, and also, I don't know, my interest, I think, got piqued on my thinking of like, okay, yeah, he's a party boy without maybe the drugs, maybe the nitrous, but it doesn't strike me as a heavy drug user and shit, or a drinker. But I think he's a party boy in that pure, which I think is way more sadistic and way more psychotic. I think if you're somebody that's like into the kink stuff with no fucking chem sex stuff, with no adult vitamins, with no booze, and you just go into it straight for the straight sober hedonistic vibes, you are unhinged. You are unhinged if you can do that stuff. If you can go to like Club Verboten, right? If you can go to fucking Pornceptual, if you can go to Kit Kat, if you can go to fucking whatever these places are, and just on straight vibes alone of just like getting into the action with no gear, no booze, you are crazy, but I admire you. You're crazy, but I admire you. But I knew Ye was on that time from that story. Remember that story that leaked? Or not story that leaked. I think he said it. The story about him being in a meeting with that Adidas person and him standing there. No, sorry, there's a video of it. Ye recorded a video of him taking a meeting with some Adidas executives when he was still with Adidas with Yeezy, and he was showing these guys porn on his phone. And the reason why he was showing them porn was because one lady in the clip looked like somebody that worked at Adidas head office. Fucking wild, by the way. Think about the trouble. Think about the trouble you would get in, dear listener, at your workplace if you showed somebody at work a porn video by force. And then think about how much more trouble you'd get in if you showed them that said porn video by force because you thought somebody in that video reminded you of the receptionist, reminded you of the PA, reminded you of the head of HR, reminded you of your line manager. Imagine the trouble you'd get in. So Ye did that and I thought, okay, cool. That's some cucky behavior. That's steering into cuckland. And once you get into cuckland, you're a real gooner. There's one thing watching porn, but once you start getting into the cucky stuff, you're a real gooner. Like, you're really like in that mode of like having your little goon room and going fucking wild. So I'm not surprised that, you know, Ye may have done the following.
That's when I gave my cousin head, gave my cousin head, gave my cousin head, I gave my cousin head.
But this is also proof to me in hip hop, because I've seen the reaction to it be quite mild. I've not seen a lot of hip hop artists like come out and call call Ye the FAG word. No one's really said that. No one's really come out and besmirched him. I think in general it kind of proves that if you're talented, if you make great music, no one really gives a shit. Even in like super machismo, somewhat homophobic black hip hop circles, people will turn a blind eye if they know you make the fucking, you know, when it comes to production, you're elite level. When it comes to constructing songs, putting together albums, rollouts, whatever activations, shows, they know you're that guy. Because allegedly, I saw some rumors on the timeline about this show that Ye's gonna do in Korea, I think, or Japan, one of those places. And allegedly, the show is meant to be fucking phenomenal. He's also gonna launch Yeezy again. So it's kind of crazy. So you can understand why people will turn a blind eye to him confessing this. I think if it's any other artist, you're probably going to get called the FAG word and whatever else it may be. And, you know, maybe other derogatory words and insults. But when you're Ye, people are going to turn a blind eye because you're a fucking genius. Obviously. That makes complete sense. But the lyrics are kind of wild. And I was reading through them and obviously listening to the song and watching the video. And I came away thinking to myself, as much as I don't care, because he's been annoying me in general, with these antics, I just want to focus on the music and the art and the fucking fashion and the sneakers. please relaunch fucking Yeezy.com. I also come away from it thinking this might be the best song he's dropped. And it's kind of heartbreaking because this is also proof why fans like myself and other toxic fans are really excited when like your favorite rapper, your favorite R&B singer goes through a crazy breakup or gets cheated on or goes to prison or is involved in some sort of, you know, fight or whatever. Because you know the song they're going to drop after is going to be fucking crazy. Like, I don't think anybody in the history of rap has missed when it comes to First Day Out records, right? First Day Out records are always... I still listen to the Gucci Mane First Day Out record. That record is fucking phenomenal. Gunna had an amazing First Day Out record, even though he did what he did. So I think a lot of pain, a lot of strife, a lot of struggle can unfortunately be the real inspiration and can really kind of level up people's art. It's really sad to say that, but that's the case because, you know, I've been listening to a lot of Ye. I'm a big fan of his, and I can say categorically, given his last previous projects, this might be the best song he's ever put out in the last few years. This is so good. The video, the vibe, the crooning, everything about it is fucking phenomenal. But the lyrics are something. The lyrics are something. Courtesy of Genius, you scroll down here and it says, the first verse, hanging with my cousin, reading dirty magazines. We've seen some niggas kissing. We ain't know what that shit mean. Then we start reenacting everything that we had seen. That's when I gave my cousin head. Gave my cousin head. Gave my cousin head. I gave my cousin head. I gave my cousin head. Now, analyzing this is quite interesting because I'm not sure about you, dear listeners, but it was only recently, and I've got to admit this, and even me, I'm embarrassed to say this because I think I'm quite progressive and I think I'm quite open-minded. And I'm also, you know, heavily, you know, an ally of the LGBTQ plus folk. And I attend a lot of queer, gay kind of events and clubs nights and stuff. So I'm quite familiar with, you know, this group of people and what they get up to. And I have to be honest and admit, it was only a few years ago that I found out, watching videos and seeing stuff on Twitter, that gay guys don't just do don't just doggy, you know? I didn't know that was a thing. Maybe some of you guys did because you're more progressive and more open-minded and way more experienced sexually than I am. But I'm not afraid to admit that I didn't know that gay guys do more than just doggy each other because I saw a clip on YouTube. Oh, it's not YouTube. On Twitter. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, I didn't know they have intercourse that way too. Like, in like, quote-unquote, heteronormative positions. I was so surprised. I was like, shit. So, it only recently, but I've also been watching porn, you know, maybe since I was a teenager. But I only found out about the gay guys doing more than doggy in the recent years. So it's interesting to me that Ye would be watching porn or reading dirty magazine with his brother, but the first thing he saw was gay porn. I'm not gonna lie. When I first started watching porn, the first thing I seeked out wasn't gay porn. I think it's probably a marker of if you're gay or not, right? Probably a good indication of where you swing is the type of stuff that you look for to kind of get yourself off. That kind of give you a good idea about your kinks or whatever it may be. One of my first searches wasn't gay porn. It was just regular porn. You know what I mean? Regular porn. It was just porn in the heterosexual way. So it's kind of interesting that Ye would say he's reading dirty magazines and the first thing that he saw was gay stuff. It's like, why would you have seen that? Did your dad have gay magazines? Were you specifically seeking out gay stuff? I wonder what. But it's also interesting because I heard people say, which is also funny. I've heard some people say on the timeline that they're not surprised because Ye has too much good taste. His taste is too good to be straight, which I don't get personally because I think I've got pretty good taste. I'm into fashion. I'm into art. I'm into furniture. I'm into design in general. I listen to pop music, right? I'd go to nightclubs and take my top off and stuff and dance and twirl around. But I'm not gay. So I wonder if that's possible. Can you be elite level and have really great taste in art and design and also not be gay? Or does being gay also entail that you'll have great taste because it means you're going to be a bit more open-minded? You might be in touch with more of your, dare I say, feminine side that might allow you to be a bit more softer, that might allow your sensibilities to be a little bit more attuned and to not be so brutish and shit. I don't know. But I saw that somewhere. I was like, I take offense to that. I think there's plenty of straight guys that have great taste that don't get down on their knees and suck guys' dicks. I think so. I don't think it's across the board that you have to be a gay guy to have great taste. I don't think that's true. I think I could, definitely be a runway designer or have a ready-to-wear brand that was only for women and design fashion, you know, quintessential capital F fashion clothes and also be straight. I think that's perfectly possible, but I could be wrong. It continues. It says, and I know these niggas about to judge me now. I started off when we was hanging out. Started off when we hanged. Told my cousin not to tell nobody. Please no, don't tell nobody. People tell me to take it to my grave. Truth will set you free someday. I don't think they understand that I'm not attracted to a man. They thought I was gay. Yeah, that's the Playboy Carti lyric. So that's an interesting thing to say, right? I wonder if that's an insecurity. Is that insecurity? Why are you so why does he care about emphasizing that he's not gay? Surely, like, I don't know, like, let's say, like, if you had to say what is gay and what isn't gay, I think one thing that you could say that isn't gay is like hugging another man, holding hands with another man, even interlocking, probably not gay. Kissing another man, you could argue kissing another man, depending on the context, it could be like some banter thing. I seen a clip of Bobby Lee and Logan Paul kissing recently. I don't think they're gay. I know Bobby Lee's done some gay stuff. I don't think Logan Paul is. So you could probably say the threshold to say if you're gay or not is kissing, right? But then if you get down on your knees and you suck another guy off, that probably means you're gay. It's not a bad thing, of course. Do what you want to do. But it's weird that Ye is arguing against it and being like, oh no, but I'm not gay though. But dude, you sucked another man's dick. How can you not be gay if you sucked another man's dick? I'm saying, like, literally, like, you could, even though the other things people can still say are gay, but I'm saying you could, you know, holding hands with another guy, laying in bed side to side with another dude, hugging another dude, interlocking fingers, swapping saliva, French kissing another guy. You could argue, you could make an argument for that being part of a prank, that being a dare. Oh my God, it's a YouTube prank, we're fooling around, you know. It's still a sign that you're not comfortable to admit what you really are and what you're really attracted to, which is sad, but hey, go through what you have to go through. But I find it odd that Ye is saying, even though I sucked my cousin's dick from when I was, however age, until I was 14 years old, which is a pretty, you know, old time to do it, I'm not gay. Well, just embrace it. But then there's also this thing that I've seen online with some people, which I'm not sure why this exists, but I've seen this phrase around that says a lot of men that say they're bi aren't bi. And it's like, how could, like, why does that, I wonder why that's the case. I wonder why, for whatever reason, women are believed. Like, if a woman says she's bisexual, people believe that. But when the guy says they are, they're not believed. So that if you're a man and you have gay thoughts, you have to decide if you're gay or straight, which is a bigger jump. You're probably more comfortable to say, hey, I'm bisexual. You're probably happy to say that. Like, Ye probably might be, but he's not comfortable enough to say he's gay because that comes with too many connotations and it also sits too heavy on him. It's like, but you've already engaged in that stuff, you know? Anyway, whatever. And then there's another verse here that says, nitrous don't help me. It just put me in a trance. What? So they, honestly, hold on. Didn't they say the nitrous? Holy shit. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't the nitrous addiction that Ye had? I thought that was tied to his grills. Remember? Ye had these grills that he got done by this really famous Hollywood dental guy. And allegedly they said Ye got addicted to the nitrous because of the grills. So he would be ordering, like, you know, canisters, like industrial sized big ones to his house and be like getting high off that. So I thought that was that. So is he trying to say that somebody recommended nitrous based therapy to make him not gay anymore or something? Okay, says it, nitrous don't help me, just put me in a trance. Fuck, you know, that's kind of wild. Imagine that there's a person in Hollywood running around telling guys if they want to be cured of gayness, just take loads of nitrous, which is weird because surely if you're on loads of nitrous and you're conked out, somebody can do loads of gay stuff to you anyway. So it's probably the worst thing you want to do to kind of convince yourself or to kind of get over your gayness, because like you can also be taken advantage of on that sort of stuff. Anyway, and also nitrous ain't that fun really, to be doing it by a canister wearing a fucking Bane mask. It's not that good. It continues. I'm talking about euphoria. I'm not talking about a man. Told her don't leave me because I need you by my side. I'm guessing he's talking about his girl, his wife, Bianca. As long as you don't leave me, then I'll probably be all right. And that one time that you left me, I didn't get no sleep that night. that one time that you left me, I took 10 perks to get high. 10 perks to get high, pray that I don't die, but if I die, see you in the sky. Oh, imagine if Kanye did die for 10 perks. 2 pints of Quay Quay, I guess that's Quaaludes, right? What's Quay Quay? I guess that's Quaaludes. Don't leave, just be. Just stay, bae. Let's go on vacay, leave the world behind. God almighty. Crazy, crazy good. But you know what? I'm all for it. If he's being serious, if Ye's being serious, if Ye's not lying, if Ye's not attention seeking, if he actually is willing to bury soul and admit these type of things, then fair play. Because sometimes when things lay heavy on your heart, you need to get them off your chest. Even though the more apt or apropos advice would be take it to your grave, sometimes when there are things laying heavy on your chest, it's better to get it off your chest. And I think in this world, especially of celebrities and shit, especially with Ye being as controversial and as divisive and as mean and as antagonistic as he's been lately, I think he owes it to himself to get everything out in the open so that nobody can blackmail or hold anything over his head. Because he's being such a cunt lately that I can see people wanting to spite him and fuck him over by purposely holding this over his head, blackmailing him, or leaking it to press before he does. So it's good that he got in front of it and said it himself, put it in the tune, the song is banging. I think he's about to release it on DSPs. He's already added a cover to it, which I think is pretty hard as well. So it's a good thing that he's admitting what he's admitting. It's just a shame that, for me, it just has a tinge of attention seeking. It doesn't really sound sincere. It sounds like a way to get people back on his side because he was feeling a little bit lonely being on his own island, doing this whole like rage bait, edgelord thing, which was really corny and lame. But if he's being sincere and he's being honest and he's bearing his soul, fair enough. I love that he's sharing it, and especially in hip hop, with it being a super machismo, homophobic type of genre and culture and shit. It's good that he's bringing this to the forefront, and hopefully people feel comfortable about speaking about this sort of stuff. But there's also a part of me that's like, there's too much sex in culture in general. We're too sexualized. Everybody's talking about fucking and they're sucking, and I'm just tired of it. I'm bored about hearing about what makes people hard, what makes them bust, what makes them horny. Like, I don't want to know. Like, keep that to yourself. Keep that to yourself and your many or one sexual partner. Like, I don't want to know about what makes you hard. I don't want to know what makes you horny. I don't want to know what makes you bust. I don't care. If anything, I'm even going as far as saying that I wish we could get past this whole polyamory thing as well. I wish that we have a next phase where it's now become popular or in trend to be in a committed relationship or to just be single and doing what you're doing. But this whole like polyamory thing where you have your cake and eat it too, you can be in a relationship but also be able to fuck around all over the place, it's getting annoying because everybody isn't that freaky. I don't believe it. I don't believe people are as freaky as they're saying they're freaky. There is a niche, there is a subsect of people that are into that freak shit, that do it and go to their freak events, go to their kink events and have the fun. They've got a big community, they've got influencers, they've got YouTube channels, books people read, blah, 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 seminars they go to. But I don't believe everybody out there is as freaky as what they say they are. I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. And I'm fed up of hearing about people doing the polyamory thing, the open relationship thing. It's fucking annoying. And I would much rather people, especially people that can't even hold down a relationship. It's like, bruh, you can't even hold down one relationship. You can't treat one girl right, but now you want to have 3 on the go. Like, why? Like, just learn how to treat one girl right. Learn how to treat a friend good. Forget a girlfriend. Learn how to treat a friend good. Be a consistent, loving, supportive, dependable, honest, friend to somebody, even a colleague. Forget a friend. Just be a good fucking work colleague first, and then we can build up to like doing fucking crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Going crazy, fucking and sucking everything, hanging off of a fucking ladder. Like, I'm fed up of the sex thing. I'm fed up of it. I'm bored of it. Like, even the porn shit, I don't even watch that anymore. Like, I'm just bored. It's just too much. I think I got annoyed because on Twitter, I typed in like, there you go or here you go, because I was trying to search for something, and the first thing I saw was just like full hardcore porn. Just like loads of it, just like people just getting railed and smashed and face crushed. Like, enough, man. Like why am I getting inundated with it when I just want to write there you go because I missed a tweet and I want to search for it again? I write there you go and I'm just getting inundated with fucking craziest hardcore porn I've ever seen in my life. I'm fed up. No more, please. Leave me alone. I don't want the porn anymore. I don't want to know what makes you hard, what makes you horny, what gets you off. Keep it to yourself and the person that you're with, or the many people that you're with, or in your community. But sharing all your experiences online and writing reports and essays and this and that and posting questions online. Enough. I had enough of it. Had enough. Please. Had enough. But hey, what do I know? We also got to talk about a little bit about Jeffree Star decided to pop out and say the following, which is really funny. Off the back of Ye admitting, that he sucked his cousin's dick, Jeffree Star decided to say, okay, fuck it, ... The rumors were true, tongue out emoji. And if you're wondering what Jeffree Star means, back in the day when Ye was with Kim Kardashian, there was a rumor going around that allegedly Kim and Ye may have broken up because Kim discovered or found out that Ye was playing, out of home, allegedly with guys. And one of the guys being Jeffree Star, or however Jeffree Star identifies. That's what people suggested. That was a rumor back in the day that Ye was out here laying pipe, smashing a bunch of people. I've seen some people say that Ye allegedly might have been fucking Ricardo Tisci back in the day. That's maybe why he was so connected with him. Remember when he was doing that whole thing with Jay-Z with the fucking dog shit and the skirt and all that malarkey. Allegedly they're saying that is connected, but I don't think that is true. I think the Ricardo Tisci thing is something separate. Big up Ricardo Tisci, by the way. He's a fucking G. I love that saga with him and Frank Ocean. That love affair that he had with Frank Ocean. That was like, if you were about Instagram, you know what I'm talking about. That was so fucking cool to see that play out. I think they met each other at the Grammys or something, and they ended up hooking up and shit. And Ricardo Tisci was really into Frank Ocean, but I guess Frank Ocean just treated it as a one and done type of thing. But it was kind of cool to see Ricardo Tisci bearing his soul and posting bow tie pictures, don't leave, all this shit. It was funny. If you know, you know. We got Ricardo Tisci. But I also remember seeing clips of Ricardo Tisci. I forgot what the place is. Is it Baltimore? Is it Detroit? There's a particular place in America, a particular state, where they have a particular gay pride that a lot of black guys go to. And if you're into black dudes, that's the place to go to, because all the like the hottest black guys in America all go there. I forgot what it's called, but allegedly I remember seeing posts maybe a few years ago of people saying, yeah, they bumped into Ricardo Tisci there. And he's from Italy, right? I think he might be based in Paris or somewhere. Imagine he was going to that place regularly, doing fucking, you know what I mean? That was his pilgrimage. He would fly over to the States, wherever this location is, and go to this really, like, I think it might be Detroit. This gay pride event. And because he's obviously, has a thing for the Negro males. Do I believe Jeffree Star? No. Jeffree Star's a bit of a troll. Jeffree Star's a legend when it comes to social media and internet and stuff. He knows how to jump on things. I'm sure, like, look at the views. That tweet got, 7.1 million views. I'm sure it kind of bolstered some of his kind of, sales when it comes to his makeup stuff that he puts out and shit. So I think he just jumps on it because everyone's talking about it, and that rumor did exist. And people were kind of digging through and trying to find details of when Ye mentioned his cousin, instances where people accuse Ye of being gay, So I think he just jumped on the algorithm thing, which I think is funny. But do I believe that Ye and Jeffree Star had some sort of sexual relationship? I don't believe so. Jeffree Star's so chatty. He's such a messy guy. And Ye is such a big personality. And it says such crazy things in over the years, that if that was true, it would have come out already. We would have heard about it, really. But one thing I have heard from people, and I'm not even that connected, but I've heard from people say that when Ye likes to party, sometimes boys are invited. That's something I've definitely heard through the grapevine. I remember also hearing through the grapevine that allegedly, that my favorite story to share about Ye that I've heard through the grapevine is that allegedly he's very self-conscious about his shoe size. And I think he might be actually like a US 8. But I think he always buys shoes bigger than what his shoe size is. So he might be a US 8, but he buys shoes like a US 11 because he's conscious about his shoe size, and he thinks that if he has small feet, people think he has a small dick or something. So he always buys shoes 2 sizes bigger. That's a rumor that I've heard in places. But do I believe he fucked Jeffree Star? No. I don't think Jeffree Star's being messy. So big up Jeffree Star. Also big up my guy, what's his fucking name? What's the DJ name? Momo PS5, I think, right? Big up my guy, Momo PS5. Not too sure if he's changed his name to Interracial Sex, but it's fucking hilarious. He posted as well and said, I been knew Kanye was gay. ASAP Yams told me way back in 2014. That's crazy throwback, by the way. But it also makes sense because ASAP Yams was plugged in, knew a bunch of people, was behind the scenes, connector, all this type of shit. And you know, even many years after his passing, people are still remembering him fondly and kind of reminiscing on some of the cool things that he did in culture, some of the people he put together. I think that famous picture of him standing in a room somewhere wearing a Palace sweatshirt. Behind him is that girl, that shoe designer that is that always makes cool shoes, and Rihanna wears them and shit. So she was plugged in with him back in the day. So Yams always been plugged in that way. So it wouldn't surprise me if Yams knew something like this. But do I believe that Ye is like gay in the sense of like fucking guys? Probably not. Fooling around in a sex freak way, probably. But fucking guys things, I don't think so. Off the top. Yes, I know he's confessed that he sucked someone's dick when he was 14, but he didn't admit to sucking people's dick in his adult age, you know. So I think he definitely likes to fool around and get crazy when he's partying, but I don't think he goes full steam ahead with the whole like, you know, fucking and sucking in his adult age. But I could be wrong. But I think it's also just an interesting tidbit. And then lastly, to end it, I want to quickly talk about Kevin Gates. Big up blood clot Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates decided to roll up to the Lakers game and sat courtside at a Lakers game for the playoffs after everything he said about LeBron James. If you're wondering, he said some mad shit about LeBron James. He said something like, "Oh, he doesn't like how Savannah what do you call it? Without any type of provocation." Kevin Gates got on a timeline site saying that he doesn't like how Savannah, LeBron James's wife, looks at him. He prefers how white women look at LeBron James because they look at him like a king, like the idol, like this guy, which I thought was really out of order and mean. But it's Kevin Gates. He's a fucking legend. I love the guy. So he's gonna say some crazy mean shit sometimes, off kilter shit. And then of course, you know, that went kind of viral. And then LeBron James decided to post about it in a subtweet way. It basically said something like, "Oh, peasants, lions don't talk to peasants" or something, right? And then posted a picture of him and Savannah and Savannah in that picture smiling at him in that regard. So, you know, the message was still received. And you can't really say lions or talk to peasants if you're actually talking to peasants still, anyway, regardless. He kind of clapped back. So then the following day or whenever, I guess, what's his name? Kevin Gates decided to rock up to the game and sat courtside, putting the pressure on LeBron James. Sat there with Brittany Renner cheesing, all these chains on, sitting there comfy. And I was thinking to myself, that's a real bully boy, bad boy, you know, tactic. And I also thought it's funny because wasn't it just recently that LeBron James stepped to Stephen A. Smith? Because Stephen A. Smith, allegedly, according to LeBron James, was chatting shit about his son, which I thought was really, at the time, I thought was really corny. I understand why LeBron James did it. I think the way Stephen A. Smith was crying was a bit lame and a bit embarrassing. But I thought it was kind of corny for LeBron to step to Stephen A. Smith the way he did, considering that he never did it to anybody else, right? So he kind of felt comfortable doing it to Stephen A. Smith. Now, it's funny that I didn't see any report that said LeBron James stepped to Kevin Gates at the game, considering that Kevin Gates said something very disrespectful about his wife. You'd think LeBron James want to keep the same energy, but he didn't. So that's the problem. When you do that whole confronting your trolls, stepping to people thing, you are doing it because you're picking and choosing. People have to be honest about it. You're picking and choosing. LeBron James picked and chose Stephen A. Smith because he knew he could, you know, he could probably beat Stephen A. Smith up with his eyes closed and both hands tied behind his back. So he knew he was a weak target, easy target. I'm going to step to him. I'm going to fucking call him out. I'm going to fucking sun him. I'm going to give him a good talking to. It's going to go viral. You know what I mean? Whatever. He done it. He got the W. But then when you cross paths with somebody that's really on that time, they're going to embarrass you because he sat there with all his jewels on, with his legs spread, feeling mad comfy, Kevin Gates, and LeBron James didn't walk up to him once. I even saw the clip. He didn't even glance over to him. He made sure not to glance over on that side. He didn't even look at Kevin Gates in the eyes. He avoided any eye contact completely. So all that bully boy, bad man tactic stuff, it only works when you're with, you know, going against somebody that you feel like you can kind of smush and you can kind of sun. But when somebody steps you and tries to quote unquote test your gangster, suddenly you don't want to look at them. Suddenly you don't even know the right side of the court exists. Absolutely hilarious. Big up Kevin Gates. Big up Brittany Renner. I love it. I love it. It's fucking messy. It's fucking annoying. But I love it the same way. I love it the same freaking way. Big up everybody tuning in. That has been the Agostinho Zinga Show episode number 900. Episode number 900. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a pleasure, not a chore. It's been a pleasure, not a chore. I'm about to head off to get a haircut because I've got to prepare for my trip to Berlin this weekend. So I might come back later for another episode. But until then, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to come back later tonight for a random show. So please bear with me. Random show later on tonight. But I got to pack. I got to do a bunch of stuff. So please bear with me. But thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure to have your company. Agostinho Zinga Show, episode number 900. Please like the stream. Click the links in the description to find out more about myself, social media, SoundCloud, all that good stuff. If you want to contact me, the link is down below too to email me. That'd be greatly appreciated. If you listen to this via the audio side of the podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and anyone else listen to the podcast so we can see and find the show. That'd be greatly appreciated. For those of you listening via the audio side of the podcast, I'm gonna play let's say what I'm gonna try. I'm gonna play the last track from Ski Mask. Big up Bloodcut. Ski Mask has a new EP that just dropped. It's called Stressmanagement, all one word. It's called ISSO, or the code is ISS011. Stressmanagement, courtesy of the legend that is Ski Mask. I'm gonna play track number 4, which is LOC Rotation, as my song of the day. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate most of you. Take care, be well, and I'll see the rest of you for the random show later on. Peace, blessings, and bye-bye. Peace.